أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Our lesson tonight will introduce us to our first complete surah of the Holy Quran. Up until this point, in the past 21 lessons, we've learned many things connected with learning the letters of the alphabet, the uppercase letters, the lowercase letters, the short vowels, the long vowels, the shad, the sakin, hamza al-wasil, the alif lam, and so on. And we've also practiced writing the letters. So now, alhamdulillah, we are ready to begin practicing how to initially read the Quran. And we're going to do this by learning the first surah of the Holy Quran, which is Surah Al-Fatiha. And this surah is very important to us as Muslims. Not only is it the first surah at the beginning of the Quran, not only does it have immense, deep, and extraordinary meanings within it, but it is also extremely important to our prayers. Our prayers are not complete without reciting Surah Al-Fatiha in every rak'ah of the prayers. So it is very important for us to learn how to recite this surah and how to recite it properly with correct pronunciation. So we're going to go over this surah tonight, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So this is the complete surah. It is 7 verses, and we're going to go through each one of them one by one. So first we're going to read the complete surah, and we'll go through it syllable by syllable, and then we'll do a recap at the end, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. So now we're going to go over it syllable by syllable, and you'll see that it's going to be shown to you in a very easy way. So here we have the first verse, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So we have the portions that we're going to read syllable by syllable highlighted in red. So we would like you to right now, for the beginners, to concentrate just on the parts that are highlighted in red syllable by syllable, and then we'll read the complete verse. So we're going to read, and you can read along, and it's better if you read out loud with us, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Now, it's important for us to understand that certain parts we highlighted more than one syllable at the same time, because when there's a shad involved, the shad requires us to connect the letter with the letter before and to read that letter with its vowel, sometimes connecting it with the letter after. And sometimes you'll have 2 or 3 letters with shad continuously. So it's important that we learn, of course, to read syllable by syllable. Sometimes we have to learn how to read smoothly with more than one syllable at a time. So let's do this ayah one more time. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Now you'll notice that when we recite this surah, we read these verses, this last letter, the mim, we read it with the sakin, but here it has a kasra. We say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We read that mim with the sakin. We don't say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. You see, we read that last mim with the sakin. And this is one rule that will be introduced to tonight, that when we land on a letter, or when we finish the sentence, or we stop reading on a letter, if it has a short vowel, then we read that short vowel as if it's a sakin. So if the letter has a fatha, kasra, or dhamma, then we read it like a sakin. or even if it has tanween. In most cases, if the letter has tanween as well, two fatha, two kasra, two dhamma, if that letter is the last letter that we're reading, we're stopping on it, then we read that tanween like a sakin. There is an exception which we'll learn later, inshallah. But for now, if it's a short vowel, if it's a tanween, just read it like a sakin, and then we'll learn the exceptions later, inshallah. So now let's read this whole entire verse. We'll read it slowly once. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And remember, read this last letter like it has a sakin. So let's read it again. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And it's important also that when we're reading this and you're following along, you follow along while looking at the letters. And of course, we're going to memorize it eventually, but what you want to do is see how the letters are formed and how it's read, not just learning it from auditory, not just learning it from hearing it. So on to the next ayah. So we'll read the sections in red one at a time. And here we have, from one of your last lessons, you learned Hamza al-Wasl, which is this alif, and here we're going to read this Hamza al-Wasl with a fatha. Since it's the first letter, we're going to pronounce it with a fatha. Here we go. Al-Hamdu lillahi rabbil alamina. And of course, we'll read that at the end with the sakin. We'll say meen. So let's do it again a little bit faster. Al-Hamdu lillahi rabbil alamina. Now let's read. And of course, let us say alaykum as-salam to the brothers and those who are watching online and those who have said salam to us. It is our obligation to return their salam. So alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So here, let's read this ayah now. Slow at first. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Now a little bit faster. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. On to our next ayah. Now here again we have, at the beginning, the first letter is Hamza al-Wasl. And once again, we're going to pronounce this alif with a fatha. So here we go. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. And here you see this alif and this lam, both of them are silent, as we learned in our previous lesson about the alif lam. And when the lam doesn't have a sakin, both the alif and lam are silent. Let's do this one again. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Now let's read it a little bit slow. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. And we read this last meme as if it has a sakin. Once again, a little faster. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. On to our next ayah. Ma li ke yawmiddin. One more time, a little bit faster. Ma li ke yawmiddin. Now let's read it without the red highlights. Maliki yawmiddin. And we'll read this last noon as if it has sakin. One more time. Maliki yawmiddin. On to the next ayah. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'inu. One more time, a little bit faster. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'inu. No. Now let's read it without the highlights. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. And we read the last noon with sakin. One more time, a little bit faster. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. MashaAllah. Next ayah. Now here we have Hamza al-Wasl, but this time we're going to recite this Hamza al-Wasl with a kasra instead of a fatha. So we're going to pronounce this as if it has a kasra here. So here we go. We'll read the highlighted parts. نص را طل مستقيم. One more time, a little faster. نص را طل مستقيم. And now without the highlights. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. And we read this last meme with the sakin. One more time. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. MashaAllah. Next ayah. ص را طل ذي ن أن عمت عليهم. All right, one more time. This time a little faster. ص را طل ذي ن أن عمت عليهم. Now let's read it without the highlights. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. One more time, a little bit quicker. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. And on to the next ayah. And this will be the last ayah, but we're reading it in two parts. Or actually, we're reading it. This was the last ayah. So now we're reading the second part to finish it off, inshallah. So here we go. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Now, one thing I should mention about Surah Al-Fatiha in this particular point right here. For those of you who already know how to read the Quran, this inshallah will improve your recitation. There's a rule in Tajweed that when you have a letter that has mad, like here, ba, is dad, with alif in front, so we say ba, and then it's followed by a letter that has shad, like this lam has shad. What happens? This mad here becomes extended even more. So that's why we don't say wala dallin, not quickly like that. We say wala dallin. We extend that mad. So, and as we mentioned earlier, sometimes you have letters that have multiple shads one after the other. So that's why we highlight this entire sequence right here, but it should all be read without stopping. La dallin. Okay, so let's recap this part again a little bit faster. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Now let's read this without the highlights. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. And remember the last letter, this noon, we're going to read as if it has sakin. So that fatha on it, we pretended to sakin. So one more time, a little bit faster. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. And now we're going to read one verse at a time, highlighted. So here we go. The first ayah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Congratulations to all of you who stuck with us for the first 21 lessons. Now in this 22nd lesson, you have been able to study and practice and train yourself so that now you are reading the Holy Quran. So if this is the first time that you are reading the Holy Quran, mark this day down. This is a very special day for you. And from here on, your recitation, your reading is only going to get better and improve, inshallah. And we hope that every time you read Quran from now on, that you remember us in your prayers as well. So this is the end of our lesson for tonight.